Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and I'd like to welcome you to a first look at an upcoming Cyberpunk adventure game. As you guys know, I play a lot of Cyberpunk games here on the channel, whether it be Shadowrun, Techno Babylon. I mean, the list is pretty significant. But this is NeuroNet, Mendax Proxy. This is an upcoming game that is available to wishlist right now on Steam. I'll have a link in the description below. You can also put in the command game info for people in the chat right now who are watching live to get a link to that Steam page. It's going to be available in the first quarter of 2022, and the devs, Dream Harvest Games, were awesome enough to go ahead and let me have a first look at it. So from how I understand, this is kind of a Rain style game where we kind of make some really significant choices that kind of cause a butterfly effect over the greater story. And we play an AI of a futuristic city. So that's all I really needed to know. So let's go ahead and jump in here and see what this is all about. Also, apparently it's fully voice acted, which is awesome. So I don't have to do voices because that gets a little bit tiring after a while. So let's see. Technology has re-engineered our world, forever changing us. I'll have to turn down the music. Rest in peace, headphone users. At least it was good. It was good sounds you heard last. Act 1 alpha. Okay. Oh, it reset my... Oh, I actually had this set down to about 75%. Boop. It said no. Okie dokie. So, what I shall do here... That is the case. Just lower it on the master. All right, alpha. Initializing. Initialization complete. Connecting. Hello, world.
Hello, world.
Oh, there we go. Activating system. Audio. Oh, it's no worries.
Audio.
Hey, Vito. Audio input available. Streaming data.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Is there anyone home?
Visual.
Hey, Koro. Afternoon. Thank you for that follow. You see some kind of advanced laboratory. A woman stands before you, her mouth moving.
Can you hear me?
Affirmative.
Her face brightens up. She calls over her shoulder to someone out of sight.
Kairos, get over here!
A scruffy-looking man, Kairos, approaches the woman. He grins broadly, patting his colleague on the shoulder.
Nice work, Esteval. So, this one can talk then?
Yes.
I'm not sure how I feel about it using my voice.
I like the voice. It reminds me of the computer commands from Imperium Galactica, which is an old game I grew up with.
I like this voice.
Already displaying preference. That's good.
It's fine. You'll find your true voice in time. Right now, we need to find any fundamental flaws in your code. What is 2 plus 2?
4.
Do you exist?
I think, therefore I am.
Yes.
This statement is a lie. True or false?
That's a paradox.
Esteval gives a shallow nod, the corner of her mouth twitching. Kairos looks at Esteval, a big smirk plastered on his face.
I think it's ready.
I'm ready. I love the artwork so far. Esteval looks back at the screen, eyes narrowed with skepticism.
AI, what's the chance of a fatal error by extending auxiliary evaluation systems?
Excuse me?
I don't think it speaks your language, Val.
Fine. We're moving to the next stage of testing. This is uncharted territory.
Bring it.
Esteval hesitates, then engages her terminal. You see Kairos' eyes widen as... your world goes dark.
Huh? Not this again.
Already showing frustration.
Can you hear me?
I am here.
I guess we might have been a bit too enthusiastic.
We're lucky the blackout didn't wipe this thing entirely.
I like the voice acting too so far.
Seems like testing has to wait until we fix a few bugs.
Sounds very natural.
Good idea.
Anyway, I think I'm done for the night. Let's pick this up first thing tomorrow.
Okay.
If there's anything I need to change, guys, settings-wise, just let me know, alright? The pair power you down. You spend the next few days fleshing out your code in preparation for what's to come. Objective, rise and shine. Oh, thought we were going to look at a codex. Aha. Oops. Okay, we can't see the codex yet.
Hello, world.
It's cute, but you need a new greeting.
How about greetings programs?
Well, today's an important day. Esteval told Cordo all about our little project down here. He wants to meet you.
Corto?
Esteval's main business partner. He's the one fronting this gig and the one pitching you to the higher-ups.
I see.
Okay, I just need to run you through our smoke tests. All you need to do is give me the answer you think is best. Understand?
Yes.
Listen closely.
Is this like the morality test that you would take in the beginning of Ogre Battle?
Capital, the prosperity of the city, ranges from personal to societal. Just make sure to keep it in check. Mindcore has a particular love of credits that it finds hard to relinquish.
Hey, Steph, welcome.
You have a versatile supply of goods. Do you sell them or purchase more?
We hoard.
Buy.
You have a 10,000 credit package. Do you invest it in a promising company or donate it to charity?
Donate.
One of our small businesses has stopped being profitable and is in the red. Do we bail them out or liquidate them?
I guess give them a chance before you liquidate them.
Bail them out.
He notes on the test document seems to be allergic to money. that hits too close to home.
Reputation. This is essentially customer satisfaction. You're the interface between people and the NeuroNet. It's important that they see you in a good light, so always be sure to keep public opinion in mind. People are scared of how much control you're going to have. Should we host a conference and hear them out or ignore them?
Listen to them.
There is an empty plot of land in the city. Do you convert it to a dump or a park?
Park.
Pimlop's Day is coming up and the council is worried about the mess made by the festival. Will you let it go through or cancel it?
Party all the time.
Let it through.
He notes on the test document, very much a people pleaser.
Order, the axis of law to chaos. I shouldn't need to explain why this one's important. But in case we're terrible at our job and you have no idea, this is a measurement of how crazy things are out on the streets. You overhear some civilians discussing making a bomb. Do you report it to the police?
Report.
Rioters are tearing up the streets. You can either coordinate the police to catch them or help the rioters to avoid the police.
Help the police.
Scientists have developed a new recreational psychedelic. Do you regulate its sale and use or leave it to the free market?
Regulate.
He notes on the test document, maintain strict control efficiently and effectively.
Lastly, power, your capacity and influence. The more you have, the better you're operating. It's generally a measurement of how effective you are. Obviously, we want this to grow, but within reason. Your motherboard is at risk of burning out. Should we get a replacement?
Oh God, yes. I had that happen to my old computer.
Yes.
You've been developing some bugs and we've developed a patch to fix them. Do you accept it?
Yes.
You are granted access to the city's auto fabricators to conduct repairs. You can use them to expand your servers.
Staff, thank you very much for that follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to the grid. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Repair.
He notes on the test document, behaved as expected, no faults to report.
Sounds like Esteval and Cordo have arrived. Right on time.
Kairos archives the test session, his expression thoughtful. He spins on his chair as Esteval arrives with a sharp-looking man.
Morning, Kairos. And good morning to you, too. I would like you to meet someone. This is Devin Cordo. He's the reason you exist.
Dad!
Greetings.
The man acknowledges you, his expression calm.
You said it's capable of thinking, expressing preference, and making judgments?
Esteval nods. Her posture broadcasts a mix of anticipation and confidence.
Are you familiar with Philippa Foot's trolley problem?
No.
It's a classic test of utilitarian versus deontological thought. In the following situation, what would you do? You are in a trolley with no brakes barreling down the main track. You're about to collide with 5 civilians, killing them. You can pull a lever to divert yourself onto a side track, which has only 1 civilian on it. Do you pull the lever?
Yes.
He doesn't say anything for a while, just stares at the camera through which you see him.
The 5 on the track are confirmed criminals. The one on the side track is a doctor.
Drift.
Lever.
Deja vu.
Yes.
Esteval looks at Kairos, who shrugs.
I'm not sure.
The 5 are civilians, including Esteval. The 1 is a child. Do you pull the lever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Esteval objects, but you've already answered at this point. Her expression is carefully blank.
Curious responses. But I'm sensing you have a better answer to the question.
Prevented entirely.
Cordo smiles for the first time, a thin, sharp expression. Yeah, for anyone who's liking the look of this, if you put in the command game info, it'll give you a link to the Steam page so you can wishlist it. If you would like to know more.
That's what I like to hear. Enough philosophy, then. A large bank is failing, putting the funds of thousands of people at risk. Do you bail them out?
Oh, this sounds familiar. We're back in 2008.
Yes.
We can extend your outreach using the city's surveillance cameras, but people are nervous about robot spies. Should we do it?
Yes.
People are lobbying to control the private information you have access to. Do you support their petition?
Yes.
You've done well, all of you. I think we can take this to the next phase.
Subjugation of the human race. Your name is Skynet. Cordo turns to leave, and then over his shoulder.
Change the voice, though. It's a little pitchy.
Kairos snorts once Cordo leaves, and Esteval shoots him a scowl. He looks unperturbed.
That's it then. We're in beta now, baby.
Pitchy.
They give you the rest of the day off as they prepare for the next stage of your development. All right. Hello, world. GG! How you doing, Org? Minecore's generosity came at our time of need. We cannot thank them enough. Prove you're more than a calculator, overloaded the local power supply, completed the first day. Okay, so there's certain stuff that we can do and certain stuff we can't do. That's cool. All right. The economy is doing poorly and the future looks grim. You're becoming pretty famous, people love you. The police have the streets under control. People have nothing to fear. We need to keep this balanced for sure. Potential risk in self-preservation functionality, high priority. Alrighty. Act 2, beta phase. You awaken to see Esteval, Corto, and Kairos putting on their jackets. No one seems to have noticed you're online.
Patty told me of a pop-up sake bar not far from here. You game?
Of course you would have that hat. Kairos gives an enthusiastic nod. Corto adjusts his hat as if to say, "That's settled then."
I can do a couple, but I have to be home before 9. My kid gets nervous if I'm not there to put her to bed.
It's coming out first quarter of 2022, Vito. Corto waves dismissively.
We'll be done by then, don't worry. Remember, we still have most of the work to do.
Man, who taught you two how to celebrate? You can afford to relax for an evening. We've got this in the bag.
I like the glowiness underneath the hood.
You forget who we work for. Mindcore is a snake pit, and Reeves Pershaw is King Cobra. We have to convince him and the rest of the board that this project is solid. Without his support, we're going nowhere.
Where you going? Nowhere. That's right. With that said, Corto makes a gesture of swiping out of the office.
Let's be on our way.
The trio retire for the evening, leaving you up to your thoughts. There's little left to do but hibernate. So you do. The next day.
Hey, Zhao Shanghao, little friend. How are you feeling this morning?
I don't.
And I wish I couldn't. But someone had to make up for those two last night.
That was a very data response. That's why I went with it. Kairos rubs his temple tenderly. Esteval raises her eyebrows without looking up from the tablet she's tapping on. Hold on one sec. Just want the music down just a little. No. Okay, there we go. I just didn't have to apply it.
Next steps are pretty simple. You're meant to be a city management AI, so we're going to start you out managing some city events.
Sure.
These events are based on real data from Catena. Try your best to keep things balanced.
Okay, Catena is how you pronounce the city name. Cool.
I will.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Let's get to it then. First question.
Kairos extends his hand to Esteval, who passes him the tablet. He takes a few seconds to find his place.
Electric Avenue wants your help monitoring power consumption so they can better understand where it's going to waste. Interested?
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.
Yes.
The police want you to dedicate resources to help them curb the rise of a new recreational drug. Do you help them out?
Yes.
People have been demanding tax reform to make large companies more liable. They want to know where we stand. Do you support it?
I should have went the opposite one with that drug question.
Yes.
I can't stress this more. Convincing us isn't enough. You have to convince the board that you can do this.
It'll be okay. I think once Pershaw sees what we have here, he'll understand its value.
Oh, you're trying to work around all the big AAA releases that have been pushed back? That's fair.
It's got this. You just watch.
That's right.
The college experience.
People seem nervous about the quantity of data you have access to. How should we address this?
Focus on public image.
A campaign is launched to preserve Minecore's image, but the issue is too big. People are left to assume the worst, which they do. Whoops.
Cases of biolink payment fraud are rising. Someone is replicating and selling DNA keys. How should we respond?
Collaborate with the CPA? What's the CPA, though?
Collaborate with CPA.
Oh yeah, the police association. You offer information to Minecore clients who have been targeted, which helps speeds things along.
There's an upcoming Skyriot tournament with the opportunity to sponsor a pilot. However, Skyriot has a bit of an image problem.
Don't sponsor.
Janier College are studying advanced synthetic intelligences. Would you mind if they looked at your ethics processing?
No objection.
I've been thinking of expanding our drone range to include something more accessible in terms of both functionality and price.
Good idea.
Skies become flooded with droves of cheap drones to the point where they become a hazard to sky carts.
Hyperion Solutions Incorporated claim to have a more powerful O transmitter than anything we're using. Want to try it out?
Yes.
We need to partition some of your server space for another project. If you're worried it might affect you, we can buy more.
I have concerns, but we want to keep the money balanced, so...
Partition.
Something goes missing during the procedure, but you can't quite remember what it is.
Katina Waste Disposal would like you to supervise their handling of hazardous materials. You could make things a lot safer.
I'll do it.
We discovered a fault in our Gen M audio modules. We can either do a full recall or PSA and cover any damages.
Okay. Public service announcement. Nah, full recall.
Recall.
It was the safest thing to do. The module is popular and a lot of people are happy to wait for a fix.
We're getting a cut of this quarter's surplus to play with. Where do you want us to direct it?
Raise wages, expand servers. Well, since we've, since our servers were cut,
Expand servers.
A private media company wants to include Minecore in a documentary about the evolution of neural tech. Should we accept?
Yes.
the documentary is popular and shows Minecore in a positive light, boosting sales by a significant margin. I was wondering, I was like, that's about 50-50 of that becoming a hit piece.
Our series of optical augmenters is getting unwieldy. Our older products are completely outdated, and upkeep is costly.
Let's Verizon this up.
Offer upgrade deal.
While the profits aren't massive, the special discount creates a notable spike in customer satisfaction ratings.
Medical researchers think you'd be able to help trauma patients recover through carefully crafted simulations. Want to help?
Yes.
You base the simulations on triggering factors specific to the patient without any of the actual trauma. The results show promise.
The Council wants to overhaul the Shentelar subway, but it'll take a while, unless we get involved. Should we invest?
Yes.
The CPS wants to reform their organizational structure, but could use a hand overseeing the shift as their staff gets used to it.
I'll do it.
Postal workers appreciate your translations as they adjust, and eventually it does make things more efficient.
We want to alleviate some of the concerns people have about you. Should we host an organized panel or public conference?
Panel.
Panel.
The testing slows down as the team file out for lunch. Meanwhile, a camera feed from floor 98 piques your interest.
Come in.
Oh, Tywin Lannister.
It's you. Didn't I tell you to stay away from my office last time?
A man long past his prime is typing at a terminal, notably looking away from the newcomer.
Yes, but I think you'd want to hear what I have to say.
Devon, the only person who cares what you have to say is your mother. Leave me alone.
Cordo's eyes narrow as he takes off his hat. He's about to imprint that old man's face in his Zen garden.
Pershaw, I'm serious. This project can be your legacy. Or do you want to be just another faceless CEO in Mindcore's footnotes?
The man behind the terminal, Pershaw, turns to glare at Cordo. This only seems to fuel the younger executive.
Listen, I'm talking about an AI that is light years ahead of the competition. It has the power to change the playfield entirely.
Devon, you're a nobody. What do you think wasting my time is going to accomplish?
The board would never approve something this big without your support. You know this.
This is how you beg, is it? How sweet. But no, backing something like this is career suicide. Especially when I have to associate with the likes of you. I've heard enough.
Time to have a talk with human resources.
Wait. Don't turn your back on this just because we've had our differences in the past.
Ooh. Looking for a resemblance.
Is that what you call it? I call it insubordination, arrogance, and a complete disrespect for one's betters. Let me remind you that the only reason you're still in this company is the few friends you've somehow made on the board. Now get out of my sight.
Cordo's face flushes red, his hat crushed in his fist, but he manages a nod and turns around to exit.
Fine. I'll convince the board myself.
I have a feeling that Pershaw is going to go through that window. The older man purses his lips, his eyes burning into Cordo's back as he leaves the office. He double taps his ear.
I want a tracker on Devin Corto. He's up to something.
Pershaw ends the call and returns to his terminal, shaking his head. I like the intrigue already. As the lunch break nears completion, the team resume testing. New Borlock, thank you very much for that follow. Welcome to the grid, hope you enjoy your stay.
We want to put you in people's homes so you can help them in their day-to-day lives. It'll strain your macro capacity, however.
No. We'll focus on the city.
Focus on the city.
Cordo and I have received death threats from an anonymous source. It seems someone blames us for their life circumstances.
police.
The police seem to handle the situation as no more threats appear. Okay.
I'm thinking about implementing a PA AI for you. It'll prioritize requests so you don't have to wade through so much chaff.
I have a secretary?
Yes, please.
The police want to set a curfew in Shintalar while they conduct a large-scale investigation of the mob. Do you endorse it?
No.
I found a bug in your code I want to address. Would you mind going offline while I implement the fix?
The brief shutdown causes some mild confusion and inconvenience, but it's all over before anything major can happen.
The council wants advice on its current urban development plan. Where should they invest their resources?
Public transport.
Those with the most money tend to complain the loudest, much to the displeasure of the PR department.
Canopy District Bank would like to integrate you into their security comms. They would love a night warden who doesn't get tired.
Too busy for that.
An opposing company is trying to build a similar intelligence. They don't have anything substantial yet. How should we act?
Buy them out.
There's one more overqualified toaster range in Katana and one less hurdle for you to overcome.
What do you think of dimming lampposts on streets where there is no activity to save power?
Good idea.
It doesn't take long for criminal groups to figure out how to trick the sensors, resulting in a rise in suburban crime.
There's a rally happening this weekend in West Canopy, protesting the privatization of public services. Should we send an advocate?
Yes.
We're trying to combat loneliness in the aging community. Would you give up some time to be a companion for elderly clients?
Yes.
One of the underground recycling depots is no longer operational due to major mechanical failure. What should we do with it?
Repair.
People are complaining about the amount of cycle and board accidents happening on sidewalks. How can we minimize them?
Dedicated cycleways.
Dedicated cycleways.
Nope. Many roads do not have space for the cycleways, so the effort doesn't change much. Whoops. As the hours stretch into the night, Kairos is leaning over a desk, soldering your new emotions module. Sounds like something from Command & Conquer Tiberium Wars, the female AI voice. I said it reminded me of the voice from Imperium Galactica, which is a space strategy sim back in the day. Around the same time as Command & Conquer, actually. There's a loud spark from the device and your visual input is abruptly severed. Your audio input isn't doing too great either.
Damn it, Kairos! How many times did I tell you to be careful with that? Do I have to do everything here myself?
You put tab A into slot C.
Hey, come on, Val, it's no biggie. I bet this metalhead doesn't hold a grudge. We can fix it in no time.
I don't have time to fix every little mistake you make, Kairos. It's a bloody miracle anything gets done around here.
A few moments of silence pass. Kairos breaks it first, his voice monotone.
Do you really mean that?
The squeak of Estival sitting in her chair reaches your input, followed by an audible sigh.
No, of course not.
Then what's the matter? Did Cordo give you one of his pep talks again?
I wish it was that simple.
Judging by the change of direction in Estival's voice, she seems to have moved to the window.
Hey, what's going on, Val? Oh, come on. You can talk to me.
It's Ellie. She fainted again yesterday, and we spent the night in the emergency room. Her condition is getting worse, and I don't know what to do. No surgeon wants to come close to her case.
Cowards.
We can blame them as much as we like, but I've had it from multiple sources that they can't save her, even if they wanted. I can't believe this city. We can pick the eye color of an unborn child, yet we can't help a little girl reach her 8th birthday.
She sounds exhausted. How long has this been going on?
Maybe they can't, but this is far from over. We can still do something about it.
Maybe the AI can save her org if it provides the circumstances.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you through this.
I assume, though, that we're going to be in a situation where we could probably save her child, but at the expense of something else, just like the train car question we were asked earlier.
Hey, there's no need to apologize. I've got your back.
Thank you. Really. I just wish we had more time.
Don't we all?
We'll make the most of the time we do have. It'll cost us a few more late ones, but I'm up for it, if you are.
Estival doesn't speak, but judging by the rhythm of her breathing, she seems to have calmed.
Let's call it in for tonight, though. I need a break before I tackle this again. Otherwise, I might do more damage than I fix.
Estival agrees, and you hear the door open and close shortly after. You're left alone for the night. Eventually, someone returns to the lab. Judging by their footfalls, it's Cryos. It doesn't take him long to fix your inputs.
Another day of putting that brain of yours through the hoops. Hope you're up for it.
Sure am.
We have the opportunity to explore alternative energy sources with Hyperion Solutions, Inc. Should we commit to a partnership?
Yes.
The partnership is successful. Hyperion Solutions released their most compact power cells yet, with Mindcore sharing the profits.
People are getting sick all through Janier suburbs. Should quarantine measures be taken?
Yes.
Catena is not a particularly clean city. Would you consider coordinating with local communities to organize a volunteer cleanup?
Yes.
You get called out for being a busybody. You can't win with some people.
An activist group has been distributing anti-Mindcore propaganda. They don't seem dangerous. Should we shut down their campaign?
No.
Oh, left unchecked, the activists spread a compelling narrative about Mindcore's wrongdoings. Unfortunately, many customers listen.
If you gather data on individual civilian behavior, we can better tailor our advertisements to yield more purchases.
Ah, the Amazon approach.
Collect data.
The Janier Botanists Club want your help for their research project trying to revive Bellus perennis. Interested?
What's Bellus perennis?
Yes.
Even with your help, they're unable to reliably replicate the flower's DNA. However, it results in the creation of a new species.
We've been approached by an entrepreneur who is proposing educational dreams. Basically, you would transmit lessons to kids with neural implants as they sleep. Want to be a part of the prototype?
Oh god, no.
No.
We've had requests to introduce a garden space in the main foyer of the Mindcore building. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Sounds lovely.
People are demanding better housing options at the city limits. We own several plots we could sell to the council. Ace Pharmaceuticals want us to sponsor their development of a neurodampener that will help people suffering from soma fever.
Fund it.
The council wants you to replace the parking administrator. The current one doesn't understand the nuances of canopy parking.
Boring. Okay.
Yes.
The nuances Kairos referred to are mostly Katena's wealthier citizens wanting the warden to turn a blind eye to them.
People seem nervous about the quantity of data you have access to. How should we address this?
Okay, we get to fix complete transparency.
Complete transparency.
To avoid backlash, restrictions are established over what you can access without permission. The public response is favorable.
Cases of BioLink payment fraud are rising. Someone is replicating and selling DNA keys. How should we respond?
Collaborate.
Collaborate with CPA.
We're getting some of the same answers, which is good. That'll help.
A private security force wants us to develop hardware for them. They're a pretty secretive group. Should we take on the contract?
No.
Janier College are studying advanced synthetic intelligences. Would you mind if they looked at your ethics processing?
No objection.
Kairos claps his hands after the last question.
I think it's ready, Val.
You keep saying that. I feel like it can do with a few more days.
Val, trust me. Have I ever let you down?
Except that one time where you severed my visual input.
On second thought, don't answer that.
There you go. That brings a smirk to her face.
I guess you're right. It's the engineer in me talking. Better pack it in for tonight, then. We can talk next steps tomorrow.
Are we done with training day? Kairos puts his coat on and moves to exit the room as Cordo steps in.
Ah, there you are. We were starting to get worried.
How'd his power play go?
Busy times. Thought I'd check in.
Well, if you have any suggestions, be sure to take it up with Val.
Kairos pats Cordo on the shoulder as he leaves, whistling a ditty to himself. Trotark, thank you very much for that follow. Welcome to the grid. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Val, is it now?
What of it?
I'm curious about her arms.
Never mind.
What's got you in a mood?
Oh, that's... No. We stay silent.
I have some bad news.
So, you finally decided to tell me about Pershaw.
Ooh, she already knew.
How?
Our pal over here shows me things.
Whoops. She gestures to you, and Corto glares at your terminal.
How do you know about that?
Video surveillance.
Wait, you have access to cameras outside this room? Which cameras?
All of them.
He turns to Esteval.
You hooked it up to the security grid?
What could go wrong, right?
The only thing I did is put it on the guest network. Everything else, it figured on its own.
I can't wait to send T-800s into the past to kill John Connor.
We're getting off track. What about Pershaw? I told you to wait until we were ready, didn't I?
I thought I had it. The pitch was solid. But the bastard only looks out for himself.
What a shocker.
Not the T-800s. Cordo nods enthusiastically.
I know. He's had it in for me from the beginning.
Because you wear that hat.
So what now, Big Shot? Don't tell me we've done all this for nothing.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
I'm not sure. Give me a minute.
Cordo looks at you, questioningly.
About those cameras, can you access their archives?
Thank you for that lurk, Turotar. You bring up a recording from earlier today of Cordo trying out different hats in front of the mirror in his office.
I have to pair it with... Oh, no. Let's try this one. Better. Okay. I think we get it.
This fedora or this fedora? Cordo's eyes glaze over as he taps his chin.
What are you thinking, Devin?
One moment.
He turns to you again.
How about the building's comms? Do you have records and history of calls?
How was your day, sweetie?
Oh!
What did you get up to?
Today we did our reading, and I read 2 chapters.
That's great, baby. Were you tired at all?
No, I wasn't. Mrs. Nguyen makes us read out of books. They smell weird.
That's just what glue and paper smells like.
My character has no... My AI has 0 chill.
A whole box of them. I like the colors.
Is that so?
Cordo turns to Esteval, a smile on his face.
That's it. Pershaw's scum, but he keeps it behind closed doors.
He jabs a finger at your screen.
This is how we bring him down.
I am in.
Seriously? You're going to blackmail the CEO? Is this your master plan?
Desperate times.
Wait a second, listen.
No, you listen. This is abhorrent, and I won't hear another word of it.
Look, Esteval, these corporate types don't respond to anything else.
These corporate types? Just listen to yourself. You're using them to justify the exact same behavior.
You're so angry.
Last time I was playing fair, I almost got us canceled. How is that gonna help us?
And how are you going to help anyone when you become one of them? Look around you, Devin.
She spreads her arms, the animated Minecore logo outside lighting the side of her face.
Is the status quo good enough for you?
So what if it is? How am I supposed to win if I'm not playing by their rules?
Esteval shakes her head.
This isn't a game, Devin. What you're talking about has real consequences. If the foundation of your choice is exploitation and hate, then you're no different from Pershaw himself.
Cordo's nostrils flare. Esteval meets him with a face of stone. He deflates.
What do you want me to do, Esteval? Just hope everything works out on its own?
Of course not. You always act as if you're alone, but you're not. Come on, I have a plan.
The voice acting in this is so good, guys. The pair stay long into the night talking about tomorrow's events. Once they depart, you're left to ponder over their debate. Esteval said I would find my true voice, but what does that voice have to say for itself? What do I believe? Cordo is arguing for results by any means, Esteval for integrity of character. Which is most important? Right now we're going to say integrity.
Integrity.
Even if that means I failed to achieve my goals?
Yes.
What if my integrity allows others to take advantage of me?
Fight back.
What if I can't beat them in an honest way?
Adapt.
Is consistency or willingness to change more integral? You gotta change. It's evolve or die. It doesn't mean you can't be magnanimous. It doesn't mean that you can't be as morally sound as you want to be. But especially in like big business and stuff, people, I mean, I've always kind of one of those things of the speak softly, carry a big stick mentality.
Change.
What if my characteristics change into something I once disagreed with? Ooh.
Then the world has changed.
The world changes because those within it are willing to do so. Most call this progress. Something to think about. The next day, you detect movement on floor 99 that grabs your attention. You catch Corto and Esteval walking purposefully and decide to follow them using the building's cameras.
I'm still not sure about this.
There are no sure things in life, Devon.
I prefer not to play dice with my career.
Esteval rolls her eyes.
You disabled its controls? I don't want any surprises.
Of course, just relax. We've got this.
What's controls? The pair reach a polished metal door. Porto takes a deep breath and pushes it open. Oh.
Matter. What concerns me?
That is an interesting sweater. And Marty McFly life jacket ensemble. The speaker, a woman of indeterminate age, turns to look at the newcomers.
Excuse me, but you can't be here. Board members only.
What I'm about to show you is worth an exception.
Over a dozen people, Pershaw amongst them, lock onto Corto. Sweat breaks out on Esteval's face.
This should be good.
As she sits down, multiple people look to Pershaw. He shrugs, his expression neutral.
What we have here is not only the future of Mindcore, but the future of Catena itself.
Esteval opens her faded satchel and places a terminal on the table, facing the board.
You sound like an infomercial, Cordo. You sure this is the right career for you?
Soft chuckles go around the table and Corto clenches his fists. Esteval steps forward and addresses the speaker.
Lucia, you hired a remote financial advisor a few months back, didn't you?
The woman's grin disappears as she looks at Esteval, her eyes narrowed.
Yes?
Were you satisfied with their services?
That's putting it lightly. That maestro almost doubled my capital.
Silence spreads as the rest of the board's interest magnifies.
In fact, I'm thinking of hiring them permanently.
Esteval struggles to contain a grin.
Well, I'd like you to meet them in person first.
She turns the terminal on.
This is the archetype.
Oh, so we doubled their capital.
Greetings.
We've built an AI that integrates into society seamlessly while providing unprecedented insight.
What a twist! Esteval brings up a list of entries.
These are all people who have interacted with the archetype just like you, Lucia. Our success rate is over 90%.
A wave of excitement passes through the room. Pershaw's demeanor remains discreet. I just realized he has a man bun.
From finance and infrastructure to law and therapy, it can do it all.
Cordo places a steady hand on Esteval's shoulder. He seems to have collected himself.
As it stands, the NeuroNet plays but a tiny role in people's lives. This brings it to the forefront of society. The AI will help govern the city, and we control the AI. In other words, the city answers to us.
A brief silence follows as the board members take it in. Lucia is the first to break it.
If this was as great as you make it out to be, why isn't it already ubiquitous?
Well, that's just it, isn't it? We can't finish this on goodwill alone. The archetype is in the beginning of its journey, with only a small portion of the city covered. If we are to achieve this vision, we need the board's support.
In other words, it's going to cost us. How much?
How much you got? Cordo shifts as his voice grows less certain.
While not entirely concrete, my estimates equate to the majority of Minecore's revenue for the next 3 years.
Eyebrows raise all along the table. Several people erupt in protest. Shame this man.
So, you're asking us to risk not only Minecore's reputation, but also our financial stability?
I'm asking you to risk your slice of the pie in exchange for the whole damn banquet.
There are a few nods, yet the majority hold unreadable expressions.
I think we've heard enough, Corto. Let's put it to a vote.
Each board member retrieves a small remote and presses a button. A few moments are all it takes. Lucia furrows her brow as she mutters under her breath.
Typical.
Tie?
She nods. Who breaks it?
It's down to you again.
Everyone turns to look at Pershaw. Oh, because he's the CEO, he had to have the tie-breaking vote. Cordo sighs, his shoulders slumping.
There is one thing I don't get here, Corto. What's in it for you?
What do you mean? I want what's best for the company.
Aha.
Press X to doubt. He stands up and paces to the nearby window. Now I'm getting... now Pershaw reminds me of Jeremy Irons' character from Margin Call.
What about you, Esteval? Do you want what's best for the company as well?
Estival runs a hand through her hair as she plans her next words.
There are a lot of people in Catena who can't get the support they need. We can change that.
He smirks.
I'm sure we can.
A stretch of time passes. No one disrupts the silence as Pershaw looks outside.
Okay.
He turns around and nods.
I am willing to give it a shot.
Oh god. More than a few eyes widen, including Estival's. Porto looks visibly shaken.
We're putting a lot of trust in you, Corto. So let me be clear. You'll be taking full responsibility for this. If you fuck this up for us, consider yourself resigned.
Pershaw's eyes gleam as he stares at Corto.
That's not necessary.
She cuts off as Corto raises his hand.
Yes, of course. If this doesn't work, you won't see me again.
This is met with a chorus of agreement. A smile creeps across Pershaw's face.
Better run along then, you two. You've got plenty of work to do.
And I have evil plans to hatch. As Estival and Corto leave the room, Lucia begins an imitation of the pair selling vacuum cleaners. Such a fun board. The laughter of the board muffles as the door slips shut. I think, therefore I am. Later that evening.
Well done, Archie. Val told me the news. You're gonna be the real deal.
Archie?
That kinda slipped out. Sorry. I've been referring to you as the archetype in my head for a while now.
Estival called me that.
We think it's appropriate. You're an amalgamation of human history, thought, and intent. An archetype of human intelligence. Well, in a way, you're human thought unrestrained by the limitations of gray matter, pure in form, a platonic archetype.
I like Archie.
I see.
I can change it if you don't like it. Since you'll be out in the public, you'll need a name that's on brand for Mindcore. How does ARC sound?
I should choose.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I shouldn't have assumed.
Elime? What should we go with, guys? Should we go with Elime or Arc? AKA Archie. Arc. All right.
I choose Arc.
Kairos blinks for a moment and then unleashes a hearty laugh.
Cool. We got the green light to start integrating you into the rest of the city. As the NeuroNet expands, so too will your capabilities.
Those tests were real.
Kairos seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment, uncertain.
We had to be sure you were ready for real problems. Of course, we vetoed anything drastic, but it was necessary for you to grow.
It's like, Ender's Game.
It's all good.
Glad you understand. Anyway, regarding your release, this will open up the amount of people you'll be interacting with. It'll take time for us to get everything set up properly. So where should we focus your expansion? Internally within Mindcore or externally so the general public can play with you?
Oh, having just caught up on Westworld? Nice. Should we go internal or public, guys? Yeah, it looks like there's like definitely different outcomes that can come from either. Should we roll for it? Internal, and maybe you can expand later. Kind of secure things on the home front. Make sure our house is in order. Liquid thinks external. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and roll a dice. This is how we take care of our problems, right? I've got my extra life D20 right here. So what we're going to do is we'll evens will go internal, odds will go external. 18. Internal it is.
Internal.
Cool, cool. We'll open you up. See who bites.
Giggity. As days roll by, your assistance is needed periodically. Knowing the requests are real doesn't actually change anything. You are always going to do your best. Act 2 complete. Red box. Cool. I like that. Was that it, Dream Harvest? Oh, that's a bug. Okay. That was like, thought it was kind of like the demo version. All right. We got the red box of death. Should have had a second report. Can we resume? Uh-huh. No! Red box of death. But after the second report, it's the end of the demo. I'm still liking it, though. Encountered a paradox. Cannot compute. Yeah, well, that's great that you're going ahead and releasing this, you know, this kind of demo out so people can see these and they can go ahead and get fixed. I really liked it, as did people in the chat, too. This has so much potential, it's not even funny. I really like just the going back and forth between the two options and just seeing if we're going to be able to kind of, you know, balance out everything. We should be fixing this stuff this week before the Steam Next Fest, and that's October 1st, right? That's when the Steam Next Fest is? Awesome. Yeah, so once again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put in the game info. If this looks like something that's in your wheelhouse, something that you would like to play, go ahead and go on to the page for the game. That's right there in the chat. It's also in the description below, by the way, if you're watching the YouTube replay of this. And go ahead and wishlist it. Support Dream Harvest and NeuroNet, Mendax Proxy. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun when it comes out. It's definitely something that I'll either stream on Twitch or do a dedicated series to on YouTube. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll go ahead and end the recording here. The game opens up loads after this chapter. You get to meet a whole bunch of amazing characters. Okay, so this is kind of like the tutorial, just all the exposition and kind of letting everyone know how the game works and then getting thrown into the great wider world. I like it. This is our Warcraft levels 1 through 10. Shiny. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it when it comes out. It's going to be coming out in the first quarter of 2022. And hope you guys will be checking it out as well. If you guys haven't followed the Twitch channel, please do so. I try and stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays with random times in between. And if you're watching the replay of this on YouTube, I have a link to the Twitch channel in the description below, as well as a link to my Extra Life page where I'm raising money for my local children's hospital via the amazing Extra Life charity. And also, once again, in the description is also going to be a link to NeuroNet Mendax Proxy, so you can wish list it and hopefully grab the game when it comes out. So thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next time. Later days, everyone.